So this camera right here is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and today I want to talk about how this camera helped me set up my YouTube channel in 2024. Now I'm sure most of you already know what this camera is by now, but if you've been living under a rock, this is a small video camera which can easily fit inside your pocket. It has a 1-inch sensor which can shoot up to 4K 120 FPS, and it also allows you to shoot in D-Log. That all sits on this little 3-axis gimbal that you can see right here, and then to switch the camera on, you flip the screen out like this. That never gets old. Now, as I've mentioned already, you've probably seen tons of content on this camera already. It's all over YouTube and social media. Pretty much every content creator has one of these by now. But instead of giving you a full review on this camera today and going through all the spec sheet and things like that, I'd rather talk about how this camera helped me set up my YouTube channel in 2024. And then hopefully by the end of this video, I can help you make a decision as to whether this camera is right for you or not. So when I was first starting my YouTube channel, I really wanted to keep things simple. I don't have any filmmaking background, so I wasn't really 100% sure what I was doing. So I needed something that was very easy to set up, very easy to use, and that's where this camera came in. I mean, for a start, if we just look at the size difference between my X-T5 and this camera, you can already see like how easy this camera would be to carry around. And then a bonus with that is because this camera is so small, it's very discreet when you're out in public, so it doesn't draw too much attention to yourself. It's also much easier to just get up and start filming. As I've mentioned before, you just flip out this screen here, the gimbal sets itself up, and then boom, you're ready to go. Now, when I purchased this camera, I did go for the Creator Combo Pack, and that has a few accessories in there, which includes like an extended battery grip and a little tripod. But the main thing it comes with is this DJI Mic 2. So this microphone automatically connects to the camera when they're both switched on, and it just saves the faff of having to set up a receiver or use any cables and stuff. So you instantly get really good audio just by switching them both on. It's such a breeze to set up. And an added bonus with the mic is if you've got the Osmo Action 4 or the 5 Pro, this mic will automatically pair with those as well. So then you can get very similar audio between both your Pocket 3 and your action camera. Now, for such a small camera, the image quality is superb. I'm really surprised at how good it has been, really. Especially if you consider how small it is and how easy it is to carry around with you. You've basically just got this camera that can come with you everywhere, but you can always create really good looking footage. I've even found that every now and then, if you've got quite a bit of separation between your subject and the background, it gives a nice depth of field look as well, which really surprised me because you don't usually see that on smaller sensors. Now, I have seen quite a lot of people mention, why would you get one of these over just using your phone? Because the sensor size is quite similar to what you see in most phones these days. But for me personally, I much prefer using this setup over using my phone. And that's just a few reasons really. So one being that I have a Samsung phone currently, so I can't shoot in log unless I get external apps and things like that. And so the footage from the default camera app wouldn't be that great, to be honest. Plus, if you're setting up a phone, you're gonna have to get a receiver for the mic and then set up the receivers, and you've just got to mess with that as well, which is just a bit of an annoyance. Also, this camera has active tracking because of the gimbal, which is great if you're filming moving subjects or you're just filming yourself like walking around a certain area. And personally, I still feel like the footage that comes out of the Pocket 3 is better than what I see on most phones these days. Okay, so I've come outdoors just to briefly show you how the tracking feature works. So currently we've got the Osmo set up on a tripod, and it's currently set to track me and keep me in center of frame. So as we start to move around, you should just be able to see the gimbal is trying to keep me in center of frame there. And no matter how quickly you move, it will keep you, or try and keep you in the center of the frame. Also, the audio right now is being recorded from the DJI mic connected to the Osmo Pocket, so this is the audio that you would get. And yeah, it's just a really good feature. You know, if you're a solo creator, this is super handy if you're trying to get some moving shots of yourself and you want to keep yourself in the center of frame. I will say I've seen quite a lot of people online using this feature, but they've not slowed the gimbal speed down, and it's like kind of like all over the place, and it's like really quick to like move direction, and it's really like disorientating because it just like is really quickly trying to keep you in the center of that frame. So if you do have this camera, just go into your gimbal settings and put it on like basically like either the lowest or the second lowest setting, and it just keeps it a little bit smoother and just makes it look a little bit less jarring. But yeah, just a super handy feature really. Like even if you go quite quickly, it's really, really fast at like trying to keep you in the center of frame. So yeah, really, really handy feature. The camera also allows you to flip the screen down, and then you have a dedicated portrait mode. Now in this mode, you are limited to 3K resolution rather than 4K, but that's not something that's actually ever bothered me personally. I have seen people complain about this, but I feel like if you just post into Instagram Reels or TikTok, this is more than enough resolution, because usually you're just uploading at 1080p there anyway. And it still gives you enough resolution to crop in, even with it just being 3K. If it is something that does bother you, you can switch the camera around like this and you get 4K resolution if you film this way. But as I say, it's not something that's ever really bothered me personally. Now there is a companion app that goes with this camera, and I use it quite often to be honest when I'm setting up shots where I'm on my own and I'm stood quite far away from the camera. It just allows me to see what the composition is without having to look on this tiny screen on the Osmo. And just briefly, I thought I'd show you what the app looks like. So you're greeted with this screen once you connect the camera. You have your little gimbal control here where you can like position where you want the gimbal to be looking. You've got your record function, your different settings down here. You can go into the top corner here and change loads of your different settings on the fly and stuff like that. And then to start the tracking feature, you just draw a box around your subject like this. And then you'll see a little green box pop up. And now the camera will try and keep us in the frame no matter where we go. Even if we walk over here, it's still keeping us in the frame. So yeah, just a really handy feature, really easy to set up. And yeah, like I said, the app's really good. Obviously, once you've got your footage on the camera, you can view it in here as well. So yeah, it's just a really handy companion app. So as you can see, this camera is really geared towards the solo creators out there. It's so easy to set up, it's so easy to start filming, and then it's really easy to keep yourself in the frame with the active tracking, and then you get good audio with the mic that's included if you get the creator combo pack. So you just end up with really good footage, really good audio, and it's just perfect if you're out there as a beginner, just starting to try and make content for yourself. And that's why this camera has really helped me launch my YouTube channel in the past 10 months. All the videos that I've shot on my channel have been shot on this. And it's just been so easy to just get up and start filming. It never got in the way. It's just, sometimes I just pull it out of my pocket and start recording when I've got a thought in my head. It's just really easy to set up on a tripod. I can just leave it and I know that I'm in frame if I've got the subject tracking on. And I can just set this up on a tripod, turn both of these devices on, and I know that I'm just ready to go. There's no guesswork with the audio. I can see myself on the screen, so I know like what's the basic composition is, and I just know that I'm gonna get the footage that I need on that day. I really do feel like if I was starting my YouTube channel with my X-T5 that I'm filming on today, I think there would have been a little bit more of a barrier to entry, and I think I would have felt a little bit more scared as to whether I was getting the shot. As right now, the X-T5, it doesn't have a flip out screen, so I can't really see myself. So I think there would have been a lot of worry in there and a bit more guesswork as to whether I was getting the right shot or not. So this just helped me just dive right in, just get some videos out there and just build my confidence in my filmmaking. I also think that if I was setting a full-size camera up in public, it would have put me off a lot of times because that would have drawn more attention to me, whereas this doesn't, you can't really see it sometimes. If I'm doing like a walk and talk and someone's coming towards me and I don't really feel comfortable about filming, I can just switch this off, and then once they've walked past, just start filming again, and it's just super, super simple. So yeah, having this camera just made filming just so much simpler for me. Now there are a few bad points with this camera, and the main thing I've had issue with is the autofocus. And it's really weird because most of the time it's in static shots. So if I'm holding the camera out like this and I've got the camera facing me, the autofocus is fine. It's absolutely fine. It never loses track of my face and it's just really, really solid. But if I have the camera set up on a tripod and there's quite a bit of separation between me and the background, and say I'm off to the right or left side of the frame, if for some reason it'll be fine and then all of a sudden it'll start focus hunting. And you can really notice it in a video. It starts like breathing. It's like it's trying to focus on the background all of a sudden, and then it remembers there's a subject in frame, and then it focuses on me again, and it keeps switching and it can't make its mind up. Now the way I've got around that is what I will do is I will set up the camera to be in single focus mode, and then I will select the area where I need it to be, or if I'm filming myself and the camera's on a tripod, I'll get the companion app up, and I'll make sure that I put a little box around where I'm stood. And then if I set it up that way, I've not had any issues, because once you've set focus, it doesn't change. So you can move all around the frame and it'll keep that focus in that point where you first set it. Yeah, that's the way I've been combating that, but it would be nice if DJI released a firmware update where on the screen, if we could tap an area where we want the focus to be, or if we could have like a little section where we can say, right, I only want this third of the frame or that third of the frame to be in focus, that would be good, and then you could use the continuous autofocus all the time then. But yeah, if you are having issues with autofocus, just leave it in that single mode and then set the focus point before you start filming. Other than that, it's quite a fragile camera. Luckily, I've not dropped it anywhere yet, but I feel like if you did drop it and it landed on the gimbal, it would be probably toast. And also, if you dropped it on the screen and it broke the flipping mechanism, you wouldn't be able to turn it on. But yeah, luckily, I've not had any issues with that. And then another downside is this isn't weather sealed like most action cameras are. So with me being primarily an outdoors channel, if I'm doing photography outdoors one day and it's raining, obviously my camera's weather sealed, but this camera's not. So yeah, it limits what filming I can do in the rain. And I've ended up getting an Osmo Action 4 just to combat that. It's also quite an expensive kit to buy. The kit I bought was £620 in the UK. But I do think for the money, it's worth it. There isn't really another vlogging setup like this camera, what comes with like the mic and some tripods and other little accessories. Really, this camera doesn't really have any competition right now. And with how easy it's been for me to film with this camera, I do feel like the money was worth it. I don't regret it at all. If I'm honest, it's probably one of the best pieces of tech that I've ever bought. It really impresses me to this day. It's such a great device, and DJI just smashed it out of the park with this camera. So if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel or you want to do some content for social media, I just think this camera is perfect for you. If you're a solo creator, I just don't see what other camera I could recommend that is as easy to use as this camera right now. I do think if you can stretch for the creator combo pack, do get that. It comes with some nice accessories. Like I say, it comes with the mic, it comes with a tripod, it comes with a battery pack, it comes with another little like extended grip for a tripod mount as well. It's just, for me, that's the way to buy this camera. It makes it a nicer package in my eyes. But yeah, the main reason to get that would be to get this mic. I do think they have some other packages now with the DJI Mic Mini. So if you only want the mic and the camera, you could go for that if you wanted. But yeah, DJI have created such a great camera here. I do want to say I'm not sponsored or affiliated with DJI in any way. I do have an affiliate link down below if you do purchase from the DJI Hasselblad retail store. But yeah, DJI have not sponsored me for this video. They've not asked me to make this video. It's just, I want to give my thoughts over using this over the past 10 months. And I just wanted to talk about how this camera helped me with YouTube in 2024. But what I will say is I'm quite excited to see if we get any competition for this camera. Because like I said, at the moment, this has no competitors at all at the moment. So other camera companies must be looking at the success that DJI have had with this, and they must be cooking up something for 2025, surely. So yeah, hopefully we'll see what 2025 brings when it comes to cameras like this.